Hey keepers, today we're taking a look at the overall steps that you do in a dive. I've had a lot of goalkeepers asking for how they actually get over the fear of diving, or how they start getting that dive down correctly each time and get over that mental blockage or that mental obstacle that comes to us when we go to dive, because our body doesn't want to actually send our body to the ground. We know that we don't want to hit the ground, and when we first start out goalkeeping, it's very hard for us to actually see the ball and then dive to it. So there are a few things that you can do to cover this and to work on this. The first thing we need to know is that all foundation and all beginner goalkeeper drills can and should be done by all levels of goalkeeping. Foundation goalkeeping and getting your technique right, especially with your dive, will help you on your weak side dive and make sure that you get the perfect technique when you are diving. So always make sure to go back and practice these diving routines even if you already know how to dive. The best way to explain how to do a goalkeeper dive is to break it down into a few steps. Our first step is the power step, stepping into the ball with the foot closest to the soccer ball, and then you follow it up by putting two hands on top of the soccer ball in a W formation. Then you push your body over your knee and you just push the ball forward. What I then have my goalkeepers do is stand on a line, and I actually call out the steps for them. I don't want you to rush through the steps. I want them to actually walk through the steps. So what I'll say is step, and I'll wait for them to step into the ball and wait so that they know what they're doing. Make sure that they're taking the right step and a nice large step. Then I'll say put your hands on the ball, and we'll make sure that we're getting our hands on the top square of the ball and the square behind the ball, but also in a W formation. And then the last part I tell them is to push the ball out. As you can see, the goalkeepers step in and then they push their body over their knee and they actually make it go forward. So that's the beginning steps to making sure that you can dive to both sides. If you're working on your weak side, just make sure you do this and that you practice mostly on your weak side. But the most important thing in this dive and the most important thing in your dive is pushing the ball forward and getting your body over your knee. So the next thing I do is get my keepers into a lunge position and actually work on putting my chest over my knee. I can see that my chest is over my knee, and then jumping forward as if I was about to do a sprint. If you have done sprints before, you know that you dig your big toe into the ground and then you push off and push your body all the way forward. The same thing goes with a dive. You push your body and you push your toe into that ground. You throw your knee and you throw your body over your knee, and you get that forward momentum to go as far as possible while swinging your back leg to get the most momentum and to get the most power on your dive. Once my keepers get their chest over the knee on their dive, we take it to the next step, which is getting the ball and pushing it to the highest point in the air. I want my goalkeepers to practice landing and making sure that they're doing the right technique when they go into the air. So the main difference between doing this on the ground and doing this in the air is making sure that we work on our top hand. When I go up in the air and I'm going to go with one hand, I want to make sure that I'm telling my body that the one hand that goes up first is always going to be my top hand if I can't get both hands up there. But we want to start with top hand and then follow up with our second hand. The best technique is to get two hands on the soccer ball, then push your body over your knee just like we did in all the other quick drills, and do a landing while pushing the ball into the ground. This is just working, getting your top hand into the right area, pushing your body forward, and getting the right technique to get that high dive and to get that forward momentum to push the ball out if you can't catch it, or if you do catch it, that you push the ball into the ground to take the bite out of your landing and to make your catch and landing a lot easier. But you always want to remember the simple steps that there are to a dive. It's not anything harder than looking at the ball, being in keeper ready position, of course, taking that step or that power step lunge towards the soccer ball, reaching your chest forward, getting your eyes on the ball and keeping it forward, and then lunging your body towards the soccer ball in a W formation. And the final drill that I use to work on my keeper's weak side is a drill that has a lot to do with balancing. I've noticed that when it comes to weak side dives, you're not used to balancing on your weak foot, or the foot that's not used to diving or doing that power step. So I like to make my keepers balance on their weak foot, and then when they start to actually lose their balance, they turn that one-footed fall into a forward dive. Always working on pushing the ball forward and digging our toes into the ground and pushing our knee over the ball. Once we start getting that momentum down and once we start getting that idea down, I want to put the goalkeeper on a line, make him hop on one foot, and then work on just using that foot to push his body forward and over the soccer ball. We're taking away a whole foot, which means that we're taking away a lot of power and momentum from your dive, and making sure that if you do get stuck on that one-footed dive or that one-footed reaction save, that you will be able to make that save with one foot and still get your body over your knee and push forward and get your body forward. This drill is great for working on your weak side dive. If you have weak side diving problems, make sure that you work your way up to this drill and you will get a better and a more improved weak side dive. Hey keepers, thank you so much for watching my video on how to get over your fear of diving and how to improve your weak side. If you liked it, please click like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys again next week.